Vav.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's not working.
I have all 5 bars.
I understand that.
There's another one, BMOC, if you have that. If you have that, what was the...
No, it was working before, but it's not connecting.
Kuf Pei Vav, letter Vav.
Kuf Pei Vav.
Page Kuf Pei Vav.
So put airplane mode on and then turn it off. That usually helps.
I know how to play the game. Okay, I have my phone connected.
Pei Vav, letter Vav. Got it. Yihad Jerusalem,
There we go. Thank you. Okay, good evening, my Rabbi Sai. Parshas Shelach Lecha, page Kuf Pei Vav, letter Vav in your Zera Shimshon. Tonight, Zera Shimshon Shir is sponsored anonymously for Yeshuas in Eretz Yisrael. Ben Shem will help and that all the people who are here and stuck should get back Bekarev. The people who are there who need to go someplace else, they should be able to get to their destination as well. And Be'ezus Hashem, all of us should go to Eretz Yisrael, Bekarev Mamish with Mashiach Tzidkenu. Thank you again to Torah Anytime for hosting as well and as being mefitz this year. Okay, this week's Parshas Shelach. The story of the Meraglim and the sad story of how Klal Yisrael lost the schus to go directly into Eretz Yisrael. After the sin, the Zera Shimshon picks up with a pasuk in Perik Yud Bei's pasuk Lamed Hey. Zogt the Torah HaKadoshah. Ani Hashem dibarti. This is directly after HaKadosh Baruch Hu has told Moshe Rabbeinu that for 40 days and 40 nights the Meraglim were in Eretz Yisrael spying. Their punishment will be Arboim Yoim Lashana. Arboim Shana Yoim Lashana Yoim Lashana. Arboim Shana, 40 years they'll be in the desert. And then the next pasuk, as you see, the Zera Shimshon quotes, Ani Hashem dibarti. I am Hashem, I have spoken. Im loy zois e'eseh. If I shall not do this, l'chol ha'eda hara hazois, for this bad eda, hanayadim olai. B'midbar hazeh yitamu. In this midbar they will be finished. Visham yamusu. And over there they shall die. That's the pasuk. Zogt the heilige Zera Shimshon. Rabbi Shimshon Chaim ben Nachman Chusa Yogan Oleinu. Zogt Azoy. Mahu im loy zois es. So what does it mean? What does it mean if I shall not do this? What's the shaila? Since when does the Rabbi Shalom have a conversation about will I do, will I not do? Number one. At zweite kasha, ve'ech miskasha pasuk yachad. Again, you could see it in your Zera Shimshon, or if you have a chumash, ani Hashem dibarti im lo esa zois l'chol ha'eda. What's the I've spoken if I shall not do it? What's the Eibush saying over here? What's in Hebrew you call it hitlabtut? How does it mean in English? What's his hesitation?
Was he talking to the Malachim or himself?
Who's the Eibishter talking to? He's talking to Moshe Rabbeinu. Vaydaber Hashem Moshe v'laharon leimar. He's talking to them. So state that's what it says earlier, right? And what the imbol Hashmeinu shedvar Hashem yokum la'olam. If he wants to say, says the Zera Shimshon, that is that the message and the words of Hashem will be established. Asks the Zera Shimshon, isn't that obvious? Who's going to stop him?
No, maybe there's no slicha, no?
Maybe, let's see. V'oid mawa keifel, at the end of the pasuk, yitamu v'sham yamusu. Dim yitamu, p'chitu sheyamusu. What's this double lashon? These are the kasha of the Zera Shimshon. What does the Eibishter mean to say? What's the hesitation? What's the double lashon, yitamu yamusu? Zog the heilige Zera Shimshon. Tonight Zera Shimshon is machadish, a major chiddush in the Anshe Dor Hamidbar. Major chiddush. A Zera Shimshon special. The Yesh Lefarshay. Ema shekosva kli yoker. Al haposig v'hemeto es ha'om hazeh ki ish echad. Moshe Rabbeinu had asked the Eibishter, will you kill all of them? Hey, mato es ha'om hazeh ki ish echad v'omu agoyim asher shimu ha'shemach aleima mebilti yecholas Hashem. The Eibishter shechted us out because he can't take us in. Continues the Zera Shimshon, quoting the Kli Yoker. Shekavanas Moshe haya loimer sheyesh chilul Hashem bedover lahamis kol kach tekevu miyad. The way you want to, you're saying, Eibishter, that you're going to kill them in such a manner that you'll shech them out, looks shezeu maise gever be'alma hamemaher linkan bekasoi. It looks like you're so angry, you're almost like taking kaviyachol nekama. If you wipe Klal Yisrael out the way it sounds like the Kli Yoker was learning Pshat, the Chilul Hashem is in how you just simply slaughter them. V'kedai bezoyin v'kesav liyachas Allah v'yizbarach midazu. So the Eibishter should go ahead and have such a midah that's not shayach. V'lechein omar hakosav ani Hashem dibarti kiloymar. Kela noichi v'loi ish. I didn't do this out of revenge or ki'ilu because I'm angry. Rak mitzada dinu mishpat. Avol imloi kiloyme imloi uchalasa zu shedibarti b'shir chilul Hashem. If you're saying to me, I can't do it because of chilul Hashem, loi evato like zeh b'shul zeh, elazois asa, I'm going to find out a different way to kill them in the desert. What's the sugya? What's going on? What is Moshe Rabbeinu saying and what is the Eibishter responding? As the Zera Shimshon is about to ask, the Eibishter has a plan to wipe out the Jewish people. Meaning, chas v'shalom, he's not going to wipe, he's going to start again with Moshe Rabbeinu. There'll be a Klal Yisrael, but not the Klal Yisrael of Yitzim Mitzrayim. Klal Yisrael will continue, I'll kill all of them, and I'll start again with you. And you'll be the one who will come to Eretz Yisrael, your children, your family, Shevet Levi, we'll start with them. That's what the Eibishter wants. Moshe Rabbeinu says, but Eibishter, it's a chilul Hashem. How can you do that? So the Eibishter says, fine. Instead of doing it my way, I'll do it a different way. I'll kill them out over 40 years. Ask the Zera Shimshon, you think the Eibishter didn't know that Moshe Rabbeinu was going to say that? What's the shakal v'tar yudah? Why does Eibishter need Moshe Rabbeinu to say that? He doesn't know that the Eibishter doesn't know Moshe will answer. If the Eibishter at the end of the day knows everything and is not going to wipe them out the way he said, so why did he say it? What is there a benefit? Is there, this is the kasha, gentlemen, Rabbi say, is there a benefit of killing Klal Yisrael immediately the way the Eibishter said? It seems like achzari, and yet the Eibishter is saying it. What's the pshat? Zok de Zera Shimshon the following chiddush. She'im hoya hakadosh baruch hu mechala oisam kirega. If after sinning they would be wiped out immediately, it would be the best thing that could happen to them. Why? Hoisam misosam kaporosam. Then chatat, you sinned, you die. You die, your misa is a kapara, you can go to Olam Haba. Your life is over, you can go to Olam Haba. Shahoyul shemiyad shechatu mesu. Since when they sinned, immediately they got the penalty of death. So they no longer lived in this world and had any hanoah from this world. Why? If the punishment for the Meraglim and for Klal Yisrael Mekabel the Lashon Hara. And Moyes in Eretz Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Eibusher doesn't punish you twice. Asita Aveira, you get the death penalty, Zeu, Misas Mechaper. The Eibusher telling Moshe Rabbeinu that I'm going to wipe them out actually guarantees for Klal Yisrael Chaye Netzach, an Eibige life. Why? Yadua, let's go back to some of the basics. Yadua, that you sometimes have Tzadik Viraloi, Virosho, Vitovlo. V'kulam mefarshim, mak ech ze echol liot. A Rasha probably did a couple of good things in his life. The Eibishter, he doesn't want Olam Haba, he wants Olam Hazeh. So Eibishter says, fine, I'll give you what you want, b'fakasha. You did some Aveiros, not some, a lot, and you did some mitzvahs, take your schar in this world. That life that the Rasha has, sometimes Chazal say, is the worst thing that could happen to him. Because he's eating his Olam Haba in Olam Hazeh. Says the Zera Shimshon, if the Eibishter is going to let Klal Yisrael continue living now after this sin, potentially that's the worst thing that could happen to them. Because then, whatever good they had, they get in this world, v'chalas, finished. What's that?
Right, it doesn't give them a chance to do tshuva.
Who says that they're capable of doing tshuva? It's not so. It's maybe or maybe not.
They were capable the last year of the tshuva.
The last year.
The tshuva, they died.
No, my dear Avram. No. The last group were the 19-year-olds. They were the ones who were still not yet. That's right. Those were already the ones that were beyond the Gezerah. Every year on Tisha B'Av, they went into the ground and laid down, and they said, "Lahavdo ben Chaim v'amesim." Yes, Rav Chaim, you remember very good. But those that came up were already underage when the sin happened. They didn't know. There was that year. Everybody went in. Zemnish Gevus. They didn't know what the cutoff was, but then they found out. So now, says the Zera Shimshon, V'chol Odom yesh lo shnei chalokim. What a major chiddush state on Zera Shimshon. You look at it, says the Zera Shimshon, as the Eibishter doing the worst thing for Klal Yisrael by wiping them out. I want to be done kav schus. I want to be done the Eibishter lekav schus. Everything the Eibishter does, Toiv Hashem lakoil. Zog the Zera Shimshon, v'chol odam yesh shnei chalokim, echad began Eden ve'echad begehenem, echad b'olam hazeh ve'echad b'olam habo. Mi she'oved chelik b'olam hazeh v'loi. I underline this. This is a big lesson. Mi she'ovad chelik chelkoi b'olam hazeh v'loi nehene klum achar shechoto. A person who chas v'shalom did a big aveira. That the Aveira itself, let's say Cholila, a person was Mechal Shabbos, and died immediately. That person, min hadin yiskala olam haba. The din says you get olam haba. Favos, I sinned, I died, and that's it. Kibalti et ha'onesh. Ata lo mekabel shnei onshim. You don't get two onshim, right? You can't. It says the Zera Shimshon, Mamish, this is his Lashon. Umin adin yizkel olam haba. Segimtach, you deserve it. Lama, you did the oynish, you got the misa and zeu. Uma she'ein kain, however, im ach arachet yenehenem olam hazeh. If after the sin, the person is still enjoying this world, he's enjoying himself completely. even if he were to die younger than his regular time. Machmas chaytoi. He might have lost his Olam Haba, says the Zera Shimshon. What the Eibishter gave after the sin, if it was the type of situation that the person Chalila deserved Nebuch Misa, so Lama Uchai? Why is he alive? You say Rachmanis, Choliyot. It also might be,
maybe he has other schusim.
Right? That's the problem. So he's getting those schusim already in this world. Don't you think schar mitzvah ha'amaleka? Better not to get it in this world, get it in the next world. So now he's already gnashing off of those schusim. Who knows how far his credit's going to go? And davka for a person who cares about olam hazeh so much, so he's going to find himself that he's poshit, draining his ruchnistika bank account. He's draining his olam haba, his nest egg. So says the Zera Shimshon. It's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Meshalem l'soinov alponov lahavidoi. That sometimes Nebuch the Eibishter will pay off those people who he doesn't want to have a shaykhs to, and let him get it over here, let him get all the good. The Zer Remez Mashik Amru Chazal Kibul Oilomai Bechaya Bedover Muad. Sometimes a person gets his Oilam Haba in this world. The Kabbanas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now listen to what the Zera Shimshon says. My Rabbi says it's half love of fella. The Rabbi Shalom's Kavana by saying I'm going to kill them right away was not out of anger. Cholila. They're still his children. On the contrary, talk about being dan the Eibishter lekav zechus. Zok the Zera Shimshon. Kavanas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hoyso lahamisoi biyad ba'olam hazeh kidei sheyisku la'olam haba. It's so that they should get olam haba. Let them go now. No hanua from this world. Noch azag roise chet. After such a big chet, let them not have an husband. Says an holchim legan Eden miyad. Kibel et punishment. They get their punishment. Gegangen weiter. Va'afal pisho yodeh sheyesh chilul Hashem bedover. Even though the Berger knows what Moshe Rabbeinu is going to say, im kol zeh lo haya makbid. You know why? Shaharei b'avayneseinu ram gam ata behigalonu bein ha'umas oimim ari gvuroisav. We think we don't have Chil Hashem, we're going to make fun of us, especially back in his times when there was pogroms, etc. Where's the Eibishter? Heichen heim nairoisav k'moshe Daniel v'Yirmiyah lo'rotzu lo'ima hagibor ba'naira. If you remember when David HaMelech, or back in the times of the Moshe Rabbeinu said, Hagodor lagibor ve'anoira, the Eibishter is awesome. But then Yirmiyahu said, where is the Gevura? The Goyim are coming to take over. Daniel says, where's the Noira? Then they stopped saying Godol lagibor ve'noira until Anshe Knesset says Hagedoila. Why they called Hagedoila Shehichser HaTorah Liyoshna? Because they said, Fakert, we're surviving amongst all of these wolves. Se echad, one little shepsela amongst shivim ze'evim. That's his Noira Yosef. That is the awesomeness of the Eibishter. He's keeping us going. B'kitzur, so the Hushaisik. In the meantime, HaKadosh Baruch Hu lets us the fact that Klal Yisrael is so hated and so put down, anti-Semitism, and the Eibishter keeps quiet. Kidei shehei nitzolim in a gehenim v'niskal olam haba. So Meir Rabbi said, what a major chiddush. Zog the Zera Shimshon, the Eibishter says, Ani Hashem dibarti. Ani Hashem dibarti means, Ich zog, my vote is, Mahargitz avek. We kill them. So what's stopping the Eibishter? You know what's stopping the Eibishter? Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is stopping. It goes to show you the zechus of a tzaddik and the anvusanosan of the Eibishter. Even though the Eibishter mitzidoi says, I'm ready to do this because this is what's good for them, I have a shutif. His name is Moshe Rabbeinu. He's been the one taking care of Klal Yisrael. Ich muss fragen. I have to ask him. Says the Zera Shimshon, "V'Hakadosh Baruch Hu lo yehoya yochol lasos ze beli yedias Moshe Rabbeinu." He couldn't do it without telling Moshe Rabbeinu all of us. Shoyaroyu manhigam shal Yisrael. You entrusted Bnei Yisrael in his rishus. Eibishter, you put the Moshe Rabbeinu in charge. Zelo fair. You can't go ahead and now pull them out from under his shlita. You gave them over to him. Where do we find such a precedent, says the Zera Shimshon? Where? Avram and Sodom. When Avram Avinu was around by Sodom, and the Eibishter said, Tza'akat Sodom v'amor gedoylo, right, that it's big, I'm ready to wipe them out. So wipe them out. You're Melech HaMishpat, so wipe them out. The Torah Kedusha says no. Avram Avinu became a shutif in Brias Ha'olam. Eile told the Shemayim v'ha'aretz bihi baram ba'Avram. He was the one who was makne Shemayim v'ha'aretz to the Eibishter. He was the one who was mechadish l'shem Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, my master. When we say Shemayim Esrei, Hashem sefasai tiftach, we mention right away the schus of Avram, who was the Odin of the Welt, who made the Eibishter the Odin of the world. So the Eibishter says, I can't wipe out Stoim v'Amoira until I ask Avram Avinu. Zog the Zera Shimshon, the Zel Bezach, the same thing with Moshe Rabbeinu. I can't wipe out Klal Yisrael until I ask them. Moshe says, and this is a big chiddush. Moshe says, I understand. You want to wipe them out because you want to give them Olam Haba. But the Chilul Hashem, Eibishter, you say you don't care about the Chilul Hashem. I care about the Chilul Hashem. I care, Ich ben Abasar V'dam, but I care about it because I feel, if you, like Avram Avinu, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avram Avinu that I want to wipe out Sodom, Avram Avinu said to the Eibishter, listen, you're Melech HaMishpat. If you tell me that you're wiping them out, the next day I found out that they're all gone, I can kashas. But if you're asking my opinion already, if you're asking, then I tell you what I think. So I think that it's not fair. The Olam remembers the story of Chanina ben Doisa, and the person who, what's that? The Chayfer Bais, what's it? The Gemara in Baba Kama Daf Nun Tet, I think Daf Nun Amid Aleph, that there was Reb Nechunya Chayfer Bais. Reb Nechunya used to dig wells for people who are oilul regel. It's very hard to schlep water. You're coming from Arba Kanfos of Eretz Yisrael up to Yerushalayim, and he would dig wells, he would dig boiros, so people could have what to drink. The Gemara says over there, one day his daughter fell into a well. And they came to the Bais Medrash and told Chanina ben Doisa. He said, Shalom. She's okay. Shosheni, Shalom. Shoshlishi, he said she's out. The Gemara says she came to the Bais Medrash, and they asked, how'd you get out? He says, Zoken Echad. There was a Zoken who came with a Rachel, with like a with an ayil. Rashi says it was Avram Avinu. Rashi says it was Avram Avinu who took her out. So steht in Rashi, Gemara Baba Kama. Says the Gemara, what happened? Says Chanina ben Doisa, I said, Dover shenit star by Oisa Tzadik Yekosho by Zarai. He dug wells for people. He made sure that Klal Yisrael should have what to drink, and his daughter should fall into a well and she should drown. Zelo fair. The tzaddik at gesagt is nicht fair. So I don't care what kind of dinim he had on him. Zelo fair. And this Baruch Shalom said, so she went out. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu is medaktek besvivav kechut ha'sa'ara. Afterwards, meis benoi b'tzoma. His son died from thirst. I don't understand. What happened to the fact that Dovishi Koshel Baizar, Dovish and Itstar Ba'isa Tzadik Koshel Baizar? What happened to the Svara? answers the Shita. I used to, Rabbi Shapiro Zechron Levracha, my Rebbe, used to say, answers the Shita Mekubetzes. The first story with the Meidel happened, Rav Chanina ben Dosa was alive. The second story happened after he was nifter. V'yadua shahakadosh baruch hu manig es ha'olam kefi svoras tzadikim sheba'oisei dor. The Eibishter is manig the world according to the righteous of that generation. In the first story, Rav Chanina ben Dosa was still alive. Et nishgelost as the Eibishter's oldest son. He didn't let the Eibishter do it. The second story wasn't there. Says that, and there was nobody around to say this svara. All the other tzaddikim, for some reason, das nicht getracht. Das given, and when he wasn't there, there's nobody to say the svara. The midas hadin can do what it wants. Steht in unser Zera Shimshon. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Eibishter, you have great cheshbonis. You're a toivu meitiv. You want they should all have olam haba. Ich bin maskim. But I'm not maskim, there should be chilul Hashem. Says the Zera Shimshon, U'Moshe lo rotza lizbol zeh chilul Hashem. Ki Moshe gam Avraham, Omer chalil l'chol asas Yisrael. You want to wipe out Sodom, but what happens if there's a few righteous people? Eibishter, if you tell me you're doing it, or you're asking me, you're giving me the opportunity, ich can sagen etwas, ich sage das achil Hashem, the torsnish. Chalil l'chol asas, chulin, says Rashi. That's the strength that a tzaddik has in this world. Zogt the Zera Shimshon. Look at this. Lefi tzadikim heim shehem yesoid ha'olam. Tzadikim are the yesoid of the world. Moisifin koyach begvura shel mal b'masayim ha'toivim. They infuse the world with positivity, with their ma'asim toivim. Ve'einoim rotzim lizbol shum rifyan chas v'sholem b'chil Hashem. They are not willing that there should be any rifyan chas v'sholem and chil Hashem. Ubekam aviyocho, like it says, ha'choyva ba'atzmai potter, or ba'acherim shechova b'chayovim. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, Eibishter, I can't see the chilul Hashem that would happen if you wipe them out, even if it's on the cheshbon of them having olam haba. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu tainas let them live, which he does. But now we have a problem. What's the problem? They're not having olam haba. Says the Zera Shimshon, that's why Moshe Rabbeinu was buried in the desert. Because when he comes back, he has to take everybody with him. It's inside. V'zeu atam shehuchrech Moshe Rabbeinu olav hashalom lamas b'chutz la'aretz.
Enough to get them all into Olam Haba?
That's right. The Medrash says a story. The Medrash gives a mashal. Medrash says a mashal. A man was on a beach. He had a hole. He stood up. Fell a couple of 20 cents, 30 cents, a couple of dimes, couple of quarters, it fell into the sand. He doesn't find it. He looks a little, etefnished. Then, a very expensive diamond falls into the sand. He brings the sifters, and he starts that diamond, he's not mevater. Once he sifts all the sand, all the pennies and all the, I'll come to. So too the Eibishter left the Mesa HaMidbar in the Midbar. No, aber Moshe Rabbeinu's in the Midbar. Ich darf doch nehmen Moshe Rabbeinu, ich nehm schon Moshe Rabbeinu, ich nehm schon Alaman. So when Moshe Rabbeinu comes out, then everybody comes out too.
To bury him, so he knows where.
Avado, but that's the point. Moshe Rabbeinu sentences out the facts takasha famaisam. That's the Moshe state in the Medrash. The Zera Tam Shehucha, because Moshe Rabbeinu jeopardized their olam haba, their future. The Zera Tam Shehucha Moshe Rabbeinu olav Hashem lomuz bechutz la'aretz kedei sheyizku doir l'tchias hamesim kedisa b'yalkut b'reish Parshas v'eschanan. Now, Kemo v'kosha, right? Moshe Rabbeinu has to be buried because they're buried. Tuvia chota v'zigud mangid. The Gemara says an expression: Tuvia sins and zigud gets malchus. The teretz elafi. And look at this: Shemoshe goram lohem sheyavdu ha'olam haba. Wow! What a chiddush! Moshe Rabbeinu, because he demanded that there be no chilul Hashem, caused that they're going to have good in this world, and they'll have to, unfortunately, jeopardize their olam haba. Dozok the Zera Shimshon. Mishum hachi hutztra gam hu lihitzta'er lamus bechutz la'aretz. We know how much he wanted to go in Eretz Yisrael. Et kedaven keminyan v'eschanon. He was, because of his righteousness, he at gezogt zum Eibishter, it's not fair that there should be such chilul Hashem. Beseder, so you have to take responsibility. As gam ata b'chutz la'aretz, ata b'yachad itam, you're all together. Kedei lenakos oisa hanoho, to wipe out shenogu yisrael ba'olam hazeh, achar chotem v'levi imoi la'olam haba. So he should take them with olam haba. And now, says the Zera Shimshon, let's come full circle. Al zeh omer hakosav, ani Hashem dibarti. I spoke, Kiloimar. Loi dibarti zeh laso zeh min hakaz v'roiges k'mo sheyas ish achem chaveiroi. When I said I'm going to wipe them out, I wasn't going to wipe them out because I'm angry, chas v'sholem, the way a person takes nekama, the way the world perceives nebuch. Ela midas harachamim. I was having rachmanis on them. If I wipe them out now, that means, like we said in the beginning, if a person's chayt and he dies right away, he goes straight to Gan Eden. Why? Because if he lives, hu bebroch. Now he's going to have a problem, because who knows, he's living off of his oilam haba, because he has schuyos. His schuyos ochen vei, if a person has to live this world on the schuyos of the next world.
The Sodom was worse than the Meraglim, because they ended up getting a punishment right away.
The Sodom, they till it came to Sodom, yes, worse. Yeah. Einachanami. Ela midas harachmas is I samisam bepeta pitom take it from miyad. I did this for Rachmanis. Kidei sheyizkul olam haba. V'ichradzati ledaber Moshe koydem asiyah lefi sheMoshe roya shalem. But I couldn't do it because I had to speak to Moshe Rabbeinu. Chtav zayin hamensh. V'atom sheMoshe loy rotza bazeh. If Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't want it, so ani Hashem dibarti mitzad harachamim. I was ready to have Rachmanis and wipe them out right away. But I can't. Im loy zois e'esel l'chol ha'edara zois du lost mich nicht. Moshe Rabbeinu, you're not letting me. That's what the pasuk means. I said I'm going to do it. Im lo mitlabet meir. He's not mitlabet. Hu rotzeh, but Moshe Rabbeinu lo rotzeh. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be geyser, but a tzaddik can be made for the gezerah. Tzaddik has such a koyach. So zog the Zera Shimshon, va'ata sheMoshe loy rotzeh bezeh im kol zeh gezerah loy tibatam. They're not going to live forever. Adarabah yeh yoser koshem shelo yizku la'olam haba. V'zeu im loy zois esek koloim im loy esek kasher dibarti. If I'm not going to do that, im kol zeh esek shebamidbar zeh yitamu v'sham yamusu yitamu ba'olam hazeh v'yamusu. Oilam haba. Achshav ze muvan. Now it's understandable what the double lashon was. The Avlu Rabbi Eliezer, the Polik Rabbi Kiva, v'sover that isfuli chasidai, that they're going to come back. Mikol mokom moidu shemin adin lo hoylem lachyos. Ela sheschus hatzadikim. Who is buried in Chutz La'aretz? Moshe, Aharon, and Miriam. None of them made it to Eretz Yisrael. They were the manhigim. They're coming back. Gans Klal Yisrael is coming back with them. That says the Zera Shimshon is the pshat and the pasuk. Cholila, to believe for a minute that the Eibishter is tam noikim cholila in Klal Yisrael because he's upset and therefore he wants to take revenge. It would have been a toiva to Klal Yisrael because they would have been guaranteed oilam haba. They would have gotten their punishment and then they would have been good. Narvos Moshe Rabbeinu nishgelos. So Moshe Rabbeinu had to take ownership of it. Moshe Rabbeinu has to be buried in Chutz La'aretz. So when he comes in, Gans Kayos should come in with him as well. Mizol Zoiche Zayin Bezus Hashem Yisbarach B'Meheira V'Yameinu Tzirik Tzigrig Moshe Rabbeinu. When Mashiach comes, state that the tzaddikim will come back too. All of them should come B'Meheira V'Yameinu. Amen.